remember how long, guess I always been this way, running 90 miles a minute all night and day, doing things that'd kill a lesser man or get him locked up tight. Never meant to hurt nobody, no I ain't like that, just trying to make my way any way I can. There's a lot of folks out there wanna slow me down, make me act right.
I'm Jeff Thomas from Indianapolis, Indiana. I got into racing. My first race ever was in 1977. Started out with motorcycle racing, and my dad got me into it, and actually that went on for 20 some years and raced professionally. I actually made a living off that for the most part for about 12 years, and started getting towards the end of my career racing motorcycles because I'm gotten older, and a couple of my buddies, one of my buddies, Brian Crabtree, called me one time when I was working out of town and said, why don't you fly down to Memphis and come watch this radial race? And I was like, no, that'd be fun getaway. And I went down there and watched the race, and I was like, man, this is pretty badass. My dad was actually like a bracket racer, and I always thought that was like super. So I didn't want no part of that, but after I watched that, I went out and I bought a car, and it's just evolved from that. I just basically transitioned from motorcycle racing, which I did every kind. I hill climbed professionally, but I used to race motocross and Grand National cross countries, basically anything. From doing that, I actually had a motorcycle machine shop for like 16 years. I sold that business and just got into drag racing, and like everything else, it's turned into a addiction. My first race car was a 62 Ford Falcon, which I still have. I bought it, it was kind of a street car, like a leaf spring car. It wasn't done, it wasn't completely done, had a small block Ford in it. And then I drove it around just for a little bit, and then I was like, nah, that ain't gonna cut it. And I put a big block Chevy in it, redid the back half, put ladder bars in it, and started racing. And when I first started, I was really going to more like they got some small tire stuff, like radial stuff around here. I was doing that, and then I was like, you can't really, to keep up in the radial world, you got to have deep pockets and lots of time. You know what I mean? I probably could have afforded to have like an X275 car that was competitive, but I would have never have been able to have the time to keep up with them guys. They go faster every year, their tests. Their races are like a week long, it's just very hard, and I was like, that ain't for me. And then I was like, I'm going no prep racing, and then to the streets, and now here we are. That's basically how it evolved to that. I work out, I'm a union pipe fitter welder, and I work out of town a lot in the refineries like in California, and I got a couple weeks off from work, and the Falcon was all apart, and I was like, man, I want to go to this race. So I was driving home from Kansas, and I was like, I'm just going to buy a roller. I got a bunch of motors at home, and I found the Nova, which is Furious Styles, as a roller, and I bought it. And I got home from Kansas, took a shower, got in the truck, and headed to Maryland and picked up the Nova, came home, rewired the car, put a different rear end in it, put a big block in it, and went out and raced like 4 days later. Just when I was home for 2 weeks. And so that's really it. I've got a couple other cars. I got another 62 Falcon that's really more of a street car, but race car wise, that's really it. And I got my Fox body Tre Styles, so we just built that last year, and which has been a awesome car for the little bit of run time it's got. But yeah, that's about it. Everybody knows the story about the Nova, about Furious Styles, and the car got stolen. We got it back. Then the bad wreck in Oklahoma, and honestly, the car really wasn't worth rebuilding. Just telling the truth, but it was just the people love the car so much. The outpouring of, I would literally get messages like, "You gonna be at Edgewater on Friday night? Man, I want to see the car," or this or that. Then after the wreck, people wanting to see it, I felt like I just had to rebuild it. So honestly, it probably would have been easier to do a whole nother car, but we're rebuilding it, and it's going to be out as soon as we can get it out. You know, I mean, hopefully, and our goal is by War in the Woods, May 8th. So we'll see.
In the rebuild of the car, what opportunities are you taking for improvements?
Every single one of them. You know, I mean, that's the one good thing I can say. When you got a car that's already done, right? Things like the cage, you know, a lot of things are very difficult to do that should have been done in the initial build. You know what I mean? Like, people will tell you, if you have a car that had an 850 cage in it and you want to upgrade it to a 25.5, you're better off to cut it all out and just start over fresh, right? So, you know, we did a lot of cage upgrades. We cut the whole front clip off the car. You know, we've done a massive change to the front end of the car. It's got all Fox body front suspension and K-member. Every single thing that was not as good as it could be before is upgraded and better. I mean, so all new rear end housing, all new brakes, spindle mount wheels, you know, it'll be all brand new, basically. The only thing we saved was the chassis from the firewall back. It'll have a new body. It'll have all new aluminum interior, all new aluminum motor. The car will be lighter. It'll have a 25.5 cert now, which it didn't have. New wheels all the way around. Yeah, I mean, it's basically all brand new car, with the exception of the chassis from the firewall back, and it has upgrades, obviously. I mean, the main people that help are John Molina and my brother Jeremy. Jeremy's helped a lot. He's been over here when I'm doing stuff, and that's it, man. This is a tiny, small operation, you know, all self-funded, and Bill Carter is from Automotion Speed Shop and 2-Lane Performance, is a good friend of mine. He helps a lot. He's really busy, so he's done a lot of fab work for me before, but when I'm gone working out of town, but since I'm home, we're doing this one all ourselves right here. So, which is going good. I mean, I don't know if we're on schedule, behind schedule. I mean, the fitment of the new body is going to be a huge pain in the ass. You know, I mean, this thing is a lot of work. This is really no different than building a whole brand new tube chassis car from the ground up, really. You know, not to sound like I'm whining, but I mean, you know, it's I don't know if it's bad luck or what it is, but I mean, at the point when Furious was like finally right there, you know, I mean, I feel like we could win just about any race we went to at that point with how good the car was working. I mean, I feel like in Oklahoma we were in the game, you know, I mean, without a doubt, especially after first round. You know, I mean, first round, arguably we made the fastest, definitely top 3 fastest pass off the trailer, you know, but that street gets awfully good, you know, it'll take some power. So, but, you know, it's just kind of a shame that everybody that races this knows how much work and time it takes to get a car to be at that level, you know, and it was there, you know, and to destroy it right then is like, that's a gut punch like you don't even know, you know what I mean? So that was a bummer, but you know, I race dude, I've wrecked more shit than any person on this planet. That's not even a joke. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, you know, like I always say that racing motorcycles, if you ain't crashing, you ain't trying, you know what I mean? So I mean, I don't say that about the race cars. What happened in Oklahoma is just a freak incident, you know what I mean? We still have no idea why that happened, but you know, we had our race coming up that John and I put on at Brown County, and I mean, as cool, as badass as that race is, you know, I wanted to race at it, and so we thrashed to, you know, get the Mustang ready and got down there, and man, I don't even remember. I mean, it was shit. It probably wasn't 3 weeks before Furious was getting torn apart. You know, I mean, I was out here with a Sawzall cutting the body off of it because, you know, you got to get after it if you want to be ready. You know what I mean? So we got started pretty quick, and we had lots of problems with the brand new motor in the Mustang. So we pulled the motor out of Furious to put in the Mustang, and then of course it broke a rocker arm and a lifter you know, at the race in Brown County before first round, and we fixed it at the track, pulled the intake, got it fixed, and the car ran phenomenal. I mean, for a brand new car, that car had never even made a pass ever till first round at Brown County, which is probably not, I mean, we raced on a lot of streets that are probably safer than that, and you know, it worked. A lot of that's luck, I'm not even gonna lie, you know what I mean? Like the whole rear suspension setup, everything, we got lucky by sitting there, you know, getting it close right off the bat. But the yeah, I mean, there's not much you can do, man. You crash one, you regroup, you fix it, and you move on. That's it. And you sit around and cry about it and whine about it, you know. It is what it is. I mean, it could have been worse, and you were there. You were in Oklahoma. I mean, could have went off the side of the street right there and hit, you know, how many people. So, you know, I mean, I was glad about that. I was also fortunate. We were really lucky, honestly, money-wise on the Nova, that it didn't destroy the doors, the whole front fiberglass clip, the hood, the deck lid. You know, Danny Popwell, our buddy that does the paint work, who's awesome. You know, there ain't nothing there that he can't fix quick. I mean, so that saved a lot of money on the rebuild. You know, I don't know what else. I mean, you know, it's nice, like you say, that we get to upgrade the car, you know, and make the car really what we want it to be. I mean, it'll be like starting over, though. It's going to take a little bit. It's going to take some testing to get it dialed in, but I think once it is, it'll be, you know, one of the top cars, I hope. Well, we'll definitely be back out in Oklahoma at Mike Angeli's race out there at H-Town, and I know they're supposed to have the big Kansas City cash days again. I definitely want to be there. I definitely want to hit 10.5 till I die out in Oklahoma. Or is that in Oklahoma? I can't remember now. I think so. Which that's an invite only race. That's a big one. I mean, you don't even roll up in that place if you ain't a bad mofo. So I'd like to go to that one. What else is there? I definitely want to be at the Dig or Die $10,000 race. I mean, $100,000 race, which we got big plans for that. The Mustang is getting some serious changes done to it, basically just for that race alone. So we're going to try to get that done during the same process of finishing the Nova, and do nothing but test with that car between now and July to race that race. Beyond that, I don't know, maybe go out to New York and hit some street races out there. I got some friends out there, and it's a cool place to race. It's different, way different, wild. So the pad, gonna definitely hit the pad once. I don't know where else. I mean, we'll definitely be, I like the Edgewater Friday night deal. That's not probably going to be done this year, but the Falcon I have is going to be substantially more horsepower than my other cars, and be for more like front of the track, no prep stuff. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see what else pops up race wise, but I want to get out there. I don't like going, you know, I like racing all the local stuff and everything like that, all the street races that are, you know, 3-4 hours from the house, but I like getting out there and going to some new things and meeting new people. I mean, Oklahoma was awesome. I mean, everything but wrecking the car was just a killer time, but you know, we're going to go back. I mean, you know, and we're going to go win that thing. Or that's the plan. I thought about this a lot. Like, I didn't want to change the combination. I don't feel like I ever got beat because I was out horsepowered. You know what I mean? Like, I never on the street ever used the potential of what the car really had. I mean, don't get me wrong. We sprayed the shit out of it. You know, I mean, it is what it is. But you know, you always, in this game, you got to always progress. If you stay stagnant, you're not winning nothing. You know, these other guys, the fast guys out there, they're winning because they constantly are making improvements to their program, you know. And so we're going from a cast iron block to an all aluminum motor. We're changing from a carburetor to EFI this year. 3 stages of dry. John built a badass intake that's in right here in the picture, and a substantially better motor than what we had, which, you know, the plan there is I didn't want to change the combination too much to basically lose all the data I already had, but hopefully with this combination we'll just spray it less. It'll just be that much more dependable, and we can just test. You know, I mean, when this car is done and goes out to the street to make its first hit, it's going to have to make a lot of hits to get back to where it was. You know, I mean, before the car got torn down, I took every measurement, every little thing I could do to make the car the exact same as it was, because the car worked phenomenal, you know, the way it was. And I mean, the car spun the tires 2 times all year last year, you know, so, you know, the car works, but, you know, so I wanted to do that again, but hopefully it, you know, we've taken some weight out of the car in the front. We've upgraded the cage and maybe added a little weight, but there's a substantial amount of weight taken off the front of the car. Just, you know, like we said, like every little, I'm not going to go into every little thing, but every little thing that could be addressed is getting addressed, and there's not a penny being spared to make it as perfect as you can make it, you know, for what it is. Like Brown's Oil Service, Automotion Race Cars, Innovative Molding Machine. Oh, that's one thing I want to add if you throw that in there. So we do have something cool coming out that's kind of, it's racing related, but you know, we're having another like small business startup, a suspension business, where we'll be offering like long travel front struts and complete suspension service, like really, you know, directed at the street racing world. You know, we're trying to make it a more affordable way, you know, with very fast turnaround, complete suspension service, rebuilds, revalves, extended travel front struts, springs, the whole 9 yards, and that's going to be coming out real soon here. I've been working real hard on that, and you know, just those are the few people that help a lot. Hughes Converters has been good to me. Molina Speedworks, you know, John's over here, he's a big part of the car, and you know, we try to represent his product as good as we can. Josh Robinson hooks me up with some suspension shit, you know. But hey, it's a lot of fun, and you know, just like a lot of them other guys out there, we put a lot of effort into it. And I honestly, I'm a racer, man, for 40 years. I go there to win. You know what I mean? This ain't something that I just enjoy doing and want to be a part of. I spend a lot of hours and a lot of money to win. That's what it's about to me.
So all new Jeff in 2021.
Well, I mean, you know, I don't like to. I'm not an egomaniac. I'm not like that at all. But it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of testing. But I think once the car is back to the point where it was before the wreck in Oklahoma, I think the car is going to be 10 times better than it was. Nitrous to the motherfucking front.